Hare Krishna. Good morning, dear devotees. Welcome to Sri Sri Radha Kalashanji's morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. Today we're going to be speaking on a very interesting subject, the dust of the feet of the devotees. Yes. First we'll sing Jai Radha Madhava. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Jaya Radha Kalashanji, Radha Kalashanji, Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava, Shri Radhe. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada. Shri Shri Radha Madhava ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Do our invocation verses, if we can do together the Sanskrit and English, please. First we'll do Om Namo Bhagavate. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Now together, please. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devyam Sarasvatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Yudiraya. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead, Narayan, unto Narayan, Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Sri Vyasa Dev, the author. Nashta preyasha breshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama sloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki. By regular attendance on the Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering a service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome in the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who's praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Om Gantamarandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmritam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Okay, so we'll move right into Canto 6, Chapter 11. We're going to be doing verses 1 through 18, and then we're going to be focusing on verse 18 itself, and with the topic of the dust of the devotees' feet. If somebody, the mics are right, there we go. I'll start with the first one. Sri Shukadev Goswami said, O king, Vritrasura, the commander-in-chief of the demons, advised his lieutenants in the principles of religion. But the cowardly demonic commanders, intent upon fleeing the battlefield, were so disturbed by fear that they could not accept his words. Wow. Please, next person. I'm sorry, I jumped ahead there. Apologies. chapter 10. Text 1. 11, I'm sorry. 11, 1 through 18. Chapter 11, I'm sorry, I told you the wrong chapter. That is my fault. Thank you so much for pulling this up. Let's start with number 1 again. Go ahead.
Sri Sukadev Goswami said, O King Vritasura, the commander-in-chief of the demons advised his lieutenants in the principles of religion, but the cowardly demoniac commanders, intent upon fleeing the battlefield, were so disturbed by fear that they could not accept his words.
Isn't that interesting? He's the commander of the demons, and he's teaching them on religious principles. Very interesting.
O King Parikshit, the demigods, taking advantage of a favorable opportunity presented by time, attacked the army of the demons from the rear and began driving away the demoniac soldiers, scattering them here and there as if their army had no leader. Seeing the pitiable condition of his soldiers, Vritasura, the best of the asuras, who was called Indrasatru, the enemy of Indra, was very much aggrieved. Unable to tolerate such reverses, he stopped and forcibly rebuked the demigods, speaking the following words in an angry mood.
Is this an act of religion by the demigods? How they're fighting? No. You can't fight somebody, you can't attack somebody with their back turned to you. So it's interesting that the demons were being taught the religious principles, but the demigods were going against religious principles. Number 4, please.
O demigods, these demoniac soldiers have taken birth uselessly. Indeed, they have come from the bodies of their mothers exactly like stool. What is the benefit of killing such enemies from behind while they are running in fear? One who considers himself a hero should not kill an enemy who is afraid of losing his life. Such killing is never glorious, nor can it promote one to the heavenly planets.
O insignificant demigods, if you truly have faith in your heroism, if you have patience in the cores of your hearts, and if you are not ambitious for sense gratification, please stand before me for a moment.
Shukadeva Goswami said, Vritasura, the angry and most powerful hero, terrified the demigods with his stout and strongly built body. When he roared with a resounding voice, nearly all living entities fainted.
I wanted to mention this is a really interesting point in that verse before, is because what is being said is that the mode of goodness and the confidence in Krishna, that in due time things will be as they should. However, in the mode of passion and ignorance, and without the confidence or patience in Krishna consciousness, we have a tendency to want to control things. We will push our agenda on the situation. And he's saying, like, no, you don't need to do unreligious activities with thinking, you can be confident in Krishna that he'll take care of it. So we can always be confident in following the laws and following, what is the right thing to do, knowing that Krishna will take care of us and he will determine what exactly is supposed to happen. Go ahead.
When all the demigods heard Vritasura's tumultuous roar, which resembled that of an lion, they fainted and fell to the ground as if struck by thunderbolts.
As the demigods closed their eyes in fear, Vritrasura, taking up his trident and making the earth tremble with his great strength, trampled the demigods beneath his feet on the battlefield, the way a mad elephant tramples hollow bamboos in the forest.
Seeing Vritrasura's disposition, Indra, the king of heaven, became intolerant and threw at him one of his great clubs, which are extremely difficult to counteract. However, as the club flew toward him, Vritrasura easily caught it with his left hand.
His left hand, not even his right hand. Wow.
O King Parikshit, the powerful Vritrasura, the enemy of King Indra, angrily struck the head of Indra's elephant with that club, making a tumultuous sound on the battlefield. For this heroic deed, the soldiers on both sides glorified him.
Struck with the club by Vritrasura like a mountain struck by a thunderbolt, the elephant Airavata, feeling great pain and spitting blood from its broken mouth, was pushed back 14 years. In great distress, the elephant fell with Indra on its back.
Anybody feeling sad for Indra's elephant? What did he do? Bhagavan, would you like to too?
He saw Indra's carrier elephant, thus fatigued and injured, and when he saw Indra morose because his carrier had been harmed in that way, the great soul Vritrasura, following religious principles, refrained from again striking Indra with the club. Taking this opportunity, Indra touched the elephant with his nectar-producing hand, thus relieving the animal's pain and increase.
Violently.
O king, when the great hero Vritrasura saw Indra, his enemy, the killer of his brothers, standing before him with a thunderbolt in his hand, desiring to fight, Vritrasura remembered how Indra had cruelly killed his brother. Thinking of Indra's sinful activities, he became mad with lamentation and forgetfulness. Laughing sarcastically, he spoke as follows.
Sri Vritrasura said, "He who has killed a Brahmin, he who has killed his spiritual master, indeed, he who has killed my brother is now by good fortune standing before me face to face as my enemy. O most abominable one, when I pierce your stone-like heart with my trident, I shall be freed from my debt to my brother."
Only for the sake of living in the heavenly planets you killed my elder brother, a self-realized, sinless, qualified Brahmana, who had been appointed your chief priest. He was your spiritual master, but although you entrusted him with the performance of your sacrifice, you later mercilessly severed his heads from his body the way one butchers an animal.
Oh, Indra, you are bereft of all shame, mercy, glory, and good fortune. Deprived of these good qualities by the reactions of your fruitive activities, you are now condemned even by the man-eaters, Rakshasas. Now I shall pierce your body with my trident. And after you die with great pain, even fire will not touch you. Only the vultures will eat your body.
You are naturally cruel. If the other demigods, unaware of my prowess, follow you by attacking me with raised weapons, I shall sever their heads with this sharp trident. With those heads, I shall perform a sacrifice to Bhairav and the other leaders of the ghost, along with their hordes.
This is our verse for the day.
But if in this battle you cut my head with your thunderbolt and kill my soldiers, O Indra, O great hero, I shall take pleasure in offering my body to other living entities, such as jackals and vultures. I shall thus be relieved of my obligations to the reactions of karma, and my fortune will be to receive the dust from the lotus feet of great devotees like Narada Muni.
Okay, we can click on this first. We'll do Sanskrit. Atuhare mekas kulishena vira. Atohare me kulishena vira. Harta pramata avya siro yadya. Harta pramatya yavya siro hadya. Tatran, I messed up the meter here. Excuse me. Apologize. Tatratuno bhuta balyam vidyadhyaya. Manashvinam pada raja prapatasye. I'm having trouble with the meter. Instead of butchering it again, what I'm going to do is turn to Drista and ask if Drista, will you help me out here, please? Atyo hare me kudashena vira. Artya pramatyeva siro yadiha. Tatranarno bhuta balim vidya. Manashvinam padaraja prapate. Thank you, Drista. Anybody else? Ato harime kuleshena vira. Hartya pramatyeva siro yadiha. Tatranrino bhuta bailim vidaya. Manashvinam padaraja prapaste. Atto harime kuleshena vira. Harta pramatyeva siro yadiha. Tatranrano bhuta balim vidaya. Manashvinam padaraja prapate. Very nice. So, word for word, together, please. Ato, otherwise. Hare, O king of Indra. Me, of me. Kulshena, by your thunderbolt. Vira, O great hero. Harta, you cut off. Paramatya, destroying my army. Eva, certainly. Sira, head. Yade, if. Iha, in the battle. Tatra, in that case. Anrana, relieved of all debts in this material world. Uta Balyam, a presentation for all living entities. Vidyaya, ranging. Manasvinam, O great sages like Narad Muni. Pada Rajaha, the dust of the lotus feet. Praptav se, or shall achieve. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. But if in this battle you cut off my head with your thunderbolt and kill my soldiers, O Indra, O great hero, I shall take great pleasure in offering my body to other living entities such as jackals and vultures. I shall thus be relieved of my obligations to the reactions of my karma, and my fortune will be to receive the dust from the lotus feet of great devotees like Narad Muni. Purport. Sri Norottam Das Thakur sings, Etaya Goshini Yara Mayatara Dasa Tan Sabara Pare Renu Mora Pancha Grahasya. I'm the servant of the 6 Goswamis, and the dust of their lotus feet provides my 5 kinds of food. A Vaishnava will always desire the dust of the lotus feet of the previous Acharyas and Vaishnavas. Vritrasura was certain that he would be killed in the battle with Indra, because this is what was the desire of Lord Vishnu. He was prepared for death because he knew that after his death he was destined to return home back to Godhead. This is the great destination, and it is achieved by the grace of the Vaishnav. Chadiya, Vaishnav, Seva, Nishtara, Payache, Keba. No one has ever gone back to Godhead without being favored by a Vaishnav. In the verse, therefore, we find the words, Manashvinam para rajaha prapatse. I shall receive the dust of the lotus feet of great devotees. The word Manashvinam refers to great devotees who always think of Krishna. They are always peaceful, thinking of Krishna, and therefore they are called Dhira. The best example of such a devotee is Narad Muni. If one receives the dust of the lotus feet of Manasvi, a great devotee, he certainly returns home back to Godhead. Hare Krishna. Before I start here, I want to just mention that we kind of started a little bit later with Kirtan, about 5 to 7 minutes. So I may take 5 to 7 minutes extra, if it's okay with you all. If anybody has an issue, just kind of raise your hand and say no. So this is a very interesting subject. The dust of the lotus feet of the devotees. I don't know about you guys, but before I came to Krishna consciousness, I never heard anything of the dust of the lotus feet of the devotees. Very, very interesting. And one thing that's very interesting about receiving the dust of the lotus feet of the devotees is that it is both very simple and yet both very difficult. And there's a reason why I say this. Is because, is the act of receiving the dust of the lotus feet of the devotee just about going up to Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet and touching his feet and putting them on our head? Well, that's part of it, right? But interestingly enough, that behind the activity needs to be an attitude. We are responsible for our attitude whenever we do something. For instance, in the Nectar of Instruction, Srila Rupa Goswami says that as one of his instructions that's not good for devotional service is to simply just do the rituals and activities simply for doing them instead of for the purpose of spiritual advancement. Also, in the Nectar of Instruction, Srila Prabhupada says in the preface, he says that the advancement of Krishna consciousness in the devotee is dependent on their attitude. So we're trying in this Krishna conscious movement to go beyond rituals and just acting because that's what we see everybody else do. We're trying to have a right attitude that when we perform devotional service, we can get the most out of it. See, attitude, or the perspective of what we go through, the perspective at which we approach something depends on the result that we'll get. For instance, an airplane, let me repeat that. So the attitude in which we approach something, the results that we get are dependent on that attitude. So if we come with one attitude into something, we'll get a different result. If we come to another attitude with something, we'll get another result. And sometimes this result isn't just external. Often, mostly, the result that we get is more internal. For instance, I'll give you a gross example. An airplane is flying in, and it's approaching the airport. And if it doesn't come in with the right attitude, then it can crash or cause a disturbance in the plane, right? Breaking an instrument, this and that. And so therefore, now the airplane has to be fixed before it can take off again. So maybe that airplane was supposed to land, pick up people, and go. But because it didn't come in with the right attitude, it now has to take a detour and become fixed. So similarly, in our Krishna consciousness, when we don't approach something with the right attitude, sometimes our result or the development of our Krishna consciousness is delayed. We might not get the same, we won't get the same benefit of the service in full because our approach to the activity was off. And so this can cause disturbance in our Krishna consciousness. I look like I'm doing everything. I chant my 16 rounds. I go to kirtan. I do this, this, and this. But wait a minute. I'm having all these difficulties. Well, sometimes those difficulties are Krishna's arrangement, but also we can see, well, what's my attitude? How am I approaching this? Am I following Srila Rupa Goswami's? Am I just performing the activity just for the ritual or just the activity? Or is it because I really want to make advancement in my spiritual life? That's interesting in itself though, right? Advancement in spiritual life. So take 1 second here and ask you guys, or a few, maybe a minute, and ask you, what is advancement in our spiritual life? Think about it. Advancement in Krishna consciousness, advancement in spiritual life. Yes. And what's your name, please?
My name is Ratna Gopi.
Nice
Hare
to meet
Krishna.
you. Hare Krishna.
So I think of two things in terms of advancement. One is a deeper connection to Krishna and his devotees, and the other is developing the qualities or attitudes of Krishna and his pure devotees.
I think we can just leave it right there. That was perfect. Oh, Briat, you want to add something? Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, please.
Hare Krishna. One instance, Srila Prabhupada defined that we know we're advancing when our material desires decrease. Just like when someone has a fever, their temperature starts to decrease. He gave this analogy. So if our material desires are decreasing, it means our fever of materialism is decreasing.
And these go both hand in hand, right? Because when we're interested in our material life, we're interested about what we're doing. What am I doing? What's my activities? What's this to this? And when we start to advance in spiritual life, we start to think about Krishna's feelings. What does Krishna think? Is this bringing me to a deeper relationship with Krishna, my spiritual master, with the pure Vaishnavas? And so how we approach something, how we approach with our attitude, if we're thinking like this, how can I do this in a way that will be pleasing to Krishna, then our result will be completely different. However, when we think about the result or the attitude, we come of, I'm getting the dust of Srila Prabhupada's feet, instead of, I am taking the dust of Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet, and I sure hope that by his mercy, I will make more advanced, I would get closer to Krishna. Two totally different things. One is, I'm in the center, and one is the Vaishnava is in the center, or Krishna is in the center. So I mentioned that the dust of the lotus feet of the devotee can be very simple and very difficult at the same time. Because the difficulty can be that the Vaishnav, the pure Vaishnav, who sees Krishna completely, whose everything is Krishna, Krishna becomes very big to them. He becomes everything. Krishna becomes larger than life, as they say. So, the pure devotee who sees Krishna as so important and so big in their life, they also see Krishna's devotees as so big. Wow. How amazing is Krishna, and how amazing is his devotees. So the pure Vaishnava, seeing the greatness of Krishna in the devotees, one symptom of humility automatically comes out in that they think of themselves as small. See, this isn't fake humility in the sense of, I'm nothing, I don't deserve, I don't this, oh, I. This is, Krishna's so this, Krishna's devotee so this, and therefore I am this. So it can be very difficult to get the dust of the lotus feet of the devotee because they think of themselves so small. Why do you want my dust? My feet? No. Go to my spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet. That will be the greatest for you. Go to Krishna and receive the dust of his lotus feet. Example in this is Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami. He was told by his father to go and take initiation from Jagannath Das Babaji, right? Gauri Kishore. Thank you very much. Gauri Kishore Das Babaji. And when he went, Gaura Das Babaji, the pure devotee, said, go. I can't do anything for you. Go, leave me alone. But Bhakti Siddhanta knew this was a pure devotee, and so he kept on trying and trying and trying. Because of time, I won't go into all of the activities, but they're pretty amazing what he was willing to do. And eventually it pierced the heart of Gaura Das Babaji, and he decided that he would initiate Bhakti Siddhanta. So what happened here? What made the flip of a Bhakti Siddhanta's Saraswati's guru to go from, hey, you don't need my dust, you don't need me as a spiritual master, to, yes, I'm going to initiate you. Well, this is the thing that can make it so simple. Because for the devotee, their compassion is, or their system is overridden by other person's desire to know Krishna. When the pure devotee sees that your interest is in Krishna, then automatically all they can think about is, what can I do to help? And so therefore, approaching them for the dose of their lotus feet, they say, I don't know if this will help, but here, please take it, because I see that you want to love Krishna, and so therefore I'm willing to do whatever it takes to help you in that. So getting the dust of the lotus feet of the devotee isn't just about touching their feet and putting it on our head. It's the mercy behind it. The compassion of the devotee to want to see our advancement. And that is where we get our major advancement. By this mercy, the mercy that I see you want to love Krishna, and therefore I'm here to help you. I just want to bring up another point in perspective, though, is that the pure Vaishnav, because of that compassion and wanting to see the advancement of others' relationship to Krishna, when we do approach them for the dust of their lotus feet, that is also where they're coming from. Okay, go ahead, please. I just want to see whatever I can do to help you in your relationship with Krishna. So what I'm trying to say is that sometimes that relationship is developed, and sometimes it's just spontaneous by the devotee. Right here, take my mercy. You may have experienced this. You maybe don't have such a relationship with some of these great saints in our movement, but you can see they're just willing to. Hey, I just want to give. So there's a wonderful story that kind of sums this up, this perspective of that our attitude of loving Krishna can override our humility, and that's the story of the gopis. Well, one time, I'm having a little, something, but somebody can help me with the story. But there was a devotee who was asked. Narada Muni was asking Krishna about the glories of his devotees, and Krishna said, you want to see my glories of my devotees? Here's what I'm asking you to do. Go around and ask for the dust of their lotus feet, because I have a headache, and their dust from their feet will cure my headache. Is it Narada Muni? Does anybody remember? It's Narada Muni, right? So Narada Muni says, okay, let me go see. And so Narada Muni's going around and he meets some brahmanas and he says, hey, Krishna has a headache, and the only thing that will cure him is the dust from his devotees' feet. Can I have the dust from your feet so that I can take it to Krishna? The Brahmins say what? No. You can't have my dust. That is such an offense. How can I give Krishna the dust from my feet? That's ludicrous. So he goes and asks a few people, no. But then he sees the gopis. He says, my dear gopis, Krishna has a headache, and the only thing that can cure him is the dust from your feet. Will you please give us the dust? Will you please give me dust from your feet? The gopis, here, take it. The gopis are the most humble, the most loving of Krishna. They have nothing but dependency on Krishna. And in that moment, their humility of giving my dust to Krishna, their system is overridden by the fact that Krishna has a headache. I want to see Krishna happy. And the devotee also wants to see Krishna happy, and he knows the most important thing to make Krishna happy is that all of us devotees are in contact with him in our relationship, because nothing makes Krishna more happy. So, I'll stop there. Any questions, comments, thoughts? Additions? We first talked about that it can be difficult yet easy for the dust of the feet of the devotee, and that one thing that is on our end is our attitude, because our attitude is dependent on the results that we get. And then we talked about the humility of the devotee being real humility and seeing Krishna as so important and them so small. But yet, this thing called love or compassion will override so many things that the devotee just simply must do whatever it takes to help you get closer to Krishna. Please.
One would think that the position of being the king of heaven, it would be very desirable. I mean, that's, talk about, having your game on, you're king of heaven, what could possibly go wrong? But yet, Lord Indra, it seems like a lot of things go wrong. Like there's, this whole story, and then there's, I don't know what he did, but he somehow ended up with eyeballs all over his body, over something. And other, there's the Govardhan Hill incident. So, why is it that somebody, Lord Indra's a great devotee, and his position is a devotee position, he's working for Lord Vishnu. But why is it he has such a problematic life with all that success?
Well, Prabhu, I have a very soft spot for Indra in my heart. Because I've noticed in my life as a devotee that I also become so foolish, that I also get some kind of appreciation or something, and I also think that it is mine. I give one good kirtan, people come up to me, Nanda Broja, nice kirtan, and I think, yes. Just like Indra, right? Yes, I am the God of heaven, right? So I see a lot of Indra in my personal life, and I encourage others to look and see what they are also doing that may push them towards the things, the tendency that Indra does, is that desire to lord over things can override or to distract us from the truth that Krishna is only the one who's providing, and that Krishna has given us. If any words come from my mouth that are inspiring to devotees, it's nothing but my Guru and Krishna's mercy. And so it's when we're not pure Vaishnavas, this is a very practical situation that we start to get some appreciation from people. When you work for Krishna, you get some fame, you get some honor, you get some followers. Sometimes you get a lot of wealth. Sometimes that wealth is cash, and sometimes that wealth is a lot of knowledge. So just being next to Krishna, you automatically get stuff. Now can you remember that it's not yours? And Indra forgets sometimes, just like I forget sometimes, that Krishna is the only one who's giving. That's my thought on Indra. and why he's a soft spot in my heart. Prabhupada Priya, I think she has something to say on this. Oh, okay. Do you have something to comment about this? Go ahead. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol.
Jai. So I was thinking, because Prabhu's question was why he has such an esteemed position, the King of Heaven. Why does he experience so much trouble? I was thinking, a lot of positions in the material world sound really nice, but as anything in the material world, it comes with trouble, with the lessons that you're talking about that he needs to learn in order to purify, and then also he's in a position of management. So
that's funny. Just become a manager for Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol.
Good. Just in response to Mr. Bhagavan Prabhu's question, Lord Shiva in the 4th canto describing Daksha explains, although the 6 qualities of education, austerity, wealth, beauty, youth, and heritage are for the highly elevated, one who is proud of possessing them becomes blind, and thus he loses his good sense and cannot appreciate the glories of great personalities. So Daksha became blind due to being proud of his opulence and offended a great devotee, Lord Shiva. So we see the same thing happens with Indra. He gets overwhelmed by his opulence, and then out of blindness can't appreciate the glories. Well, he does in a sense, but he's a little caught up in his own glories.
I and mine. Prabhupada Priya, thank you for your patience.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, the purport starts with this quotation from Narottam Das Thakur, where he says that I am the servant of the 6 Goswamis, and the dust of their lotus feet provides my 5 kinds of food. So, yeah, I'm just wondering, what does he mean by this, that the dust from their feet is his 5 kinds of food? Does he actually eat the dust? Are there 5 different kinds of dust that correspond to 5 different kinds of food? Or what is he saying there?
Srila Prabhupada mentions a quote in the Nectar of Instruction by Narottam Das Thakur. He says, when I'm eager to understand the literatures by the Goswamis, then I will finally be interested in Radha and Krishna. So when we're interested in hearing from the acharyas, when we really are eager to understand their instructions, an amazing thing happens in that we become interested in Krishna, and that thing that we are looking for satisfaction, which we scurry here and there trying to look for, happens. We become satisfied. We become quenched. So when we eat the dust of the lotus feet, or when we take in the mercy of the Vaishnavas that they are giving us, which from the Goswamis is their literatures, everything is like, can you imagine? In the Nectar of Instruction, Srila Prabhupada says, in these 11 instructions, one can go from a neophyte to a pure devotee. Now, Srila Prabhupada's book's this big, but the 11 instructions are like this. And just from 11 instructions, we can go from a neophyte to a pure devotee. So we have to take the dust, the mercy of the devotee, in the way that they're giving it. And the Goswamis are giving by their lecture, by their books. And so although we, at this moment in time, can't literally take the dust from their lotus feet, we can read their literatures, and that is the mercy that they're giving so that we can understand Krishna. Shri Shri Radha Kalashanji Ki Jai. What do you think, Prabhupada Priya? Prabhu?
Hare Krishna. Yeah, I like that, what you said. That was good. So the dust here is, in this sense, it's perhaps a little metaphorical. It's not referring to the actual dirt off their feet.
Yeah. What I'm understanding is that when we eat, we become satisfied. Because in this world, the fire, the burning thing is to get some satisfaction, because we're so away from Krishna that it's just burning. And so we're looking for satisfaction. And when we're really hungry, we eat, So So similarly, when we take the mercy of the Vaishnav, it's like, matter of fact, we sing it in the morning. Samsara davan, analita loka, sarnaya karuna, ganaganapam, praptasya kalana guna ravasya, vande garoshi charnarvindam. This material world is a blazing forest fire, and the spiritual master is like a cloud, a rain-filled cloud that pours the relief on us so that that fire can be extinguished. And so we're, it's beautiful, our acharyas that give us these different perspectives, or different ways of seeing satisfaction, of seeing that and feeling that, that peace. The world can be churning left and right, and the spiritual master just gives us one word, one look. I'm okay.
Okay. I was thinking that food means nourishment. Food comes in different kinds. Food comes in different kinds. So there's different kinds of nourishment. You need your rice, dal, sabji, chapatis. If you eat only chapatis, you're not going to be nourished, right? If you only dal, you're not going to be nourished. So you need a different variety. I was thinking that also the mercy of the devotees comes in different forms, right? There's their instructions are one form or one flavor of nourishment. Their chastisements are another flavor, and then sometimes just their a smile or loving, compassionate glance can be very, very nourishing. And so different ways that senior devotees, or maybe just their thoughts, that they just think kindly of us, or when devotee told me that to be a spiritual master is not that difficult. You just need to think about the devotee and just think, positively in your mind, think good thoughts about them. So apparently that's very powerful also. So different ways that this dust comes to us and nourishes us.
I want to add some evidence into the mix. So Prahlad Maharaj also talks about we need to smear our entire body with the dust of the lotus feet of a great devotee. This is a famous verse. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada really highlights the need to take shelter of a self-realized soul. And so he is emphasizing this point of humility, that he doesn't talk at all about the physical dust, but he talks about the importance of finding a bona fide spiritual master and understanding the science of Krishna consciousness. So, at least according to this purport, it appears that developing faith in the instructions of a self-realized soul is the way to take their dust.
It says also in Srimad Bhagavatam that this body is simply a dead body unless it's touched by the dust of a pure devotee. It's simply just a lump of matter unless it has the devotee's dust put on it. And so we can understand that, yes, we can touch Srila Prabhupada's feet and take his dust. And that is very, very nice. And we should have an attitude that we're trying, Srila Prabhupada, let me take this dust from your lotus feet by your mercy, so that I can make advancement in my Krishna consciousness, so that I can meet Krishna's will. Any last? I'll go.
Yes, Prabhu. I just appreciate overall your emphasis on the internal aspect and not getting stuck in rituals, the external side. And it reminds me of an interaction I had with Krishna Prabhu in Houston. I was asking him for blessings because I was soon going to Vrindavan Dham. And I asked once, and we had a nice conversation, and I didn't feel he really addressed my point. So I asked again, Prabhu, can you please give me your blessings? And he said, I don't have to literally say it. I'll give you my blessings. He's like, you've got my blessings. I appreciate you. I care about you. I'm praying for you. I don't have to literally say it. So I was all caught up in the external aspect of it. But really, because he's a well-wisher and because I asked for his mercy, he automatically gave it. That's just the nature of a Vaishnava. So we have to understand the heart. We have to understand the internal aspect. So I appreciate that emphasis, Prabhu.
I think that when it comes to understanding Lord Indra, it takes, I think there's less, I'm trying to understand, why Indra has all these problems, why all these things are in the Bhagavatam. It must be that we're supposed to learn something from this. Because it's, like there's one part where Lord Indra actually fights with Krishna over a tree up in heaven. Do you know that story? The Parijata tree. And I was reading that, I was like, what is going on here? Krishna, why isn't Lord Indra saying, here, please, take the Parijata tree? He's Krishna's devotee, but instead, they fight over the tree, and Krishna, but he's, Lord Indra's got a lot of friends in high places, like all these demigods up here, and he's actually an amazing personality to be with Krishna, to fight with Krishna, to have these conversations with Krishna, to have pastimes with Krishna. So I think we have to, at least myself, I have to have all respect. It's understand that this personality is way above my pay grade, but it's just something we can learn from him, like from all the different things that he goes through.
In this age of Kali, it's so easy to just look after yourself, right? Everybody's quarreling with their agenda, my agenda. And we've spent millions and millions of lifetimes with the center of everything being us. And so there's one cheat code that if we really, really, really desire to become Krishna consciousness and receive the blessings of the Vaishnavas, is that we get to a position where we want to share Krishna with others. If we can have an attitude about how I can help others get to know Krishna, then a lot of these problems stop. We're no longer thinking about our agenda and what we want, this and oh, what does this person need for Krishna? And all of a sudden, a lot of our problems go away. And we stop from issues like Lord Indra has. Because Lord Indra is a manager of his agenda, right? But if Lord Indra is thinking about how he can be part of the Sankirtan movement, he has a lot of facility to share Krishna consciousness with others. So let us spend this one lifetime with desiring to do what Krishna wants. And Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, one who's very, very dear to me is the one who shares this Bhagavad Gita to others. So let's get the dust of Lord Sri Krishna's lotus feet. Let's most importantly get the dust of Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet, and let's share this Krishna consciousness movement with others. Hare Krishna, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhyeva cha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare